Lesson 13, dividing variables with exponents, and we'll be working with negative exponents. Here's part 1. Expand. So for example, in box A, we have h to the second power, which just means h times h. Here's part 2. The first row and the second row use the exact same problems. So notice here we have p to the third divided by p to the fifth, and here we have p to the third divided by p to the fifth. But we're going to solve them in two different ways. In the first row, we're going to expand, then simplify each fraction. In the second row, we're going to divide by keeping the base and subtracting the exponents. Let's go over box E1 and box E2. In box E1, let's expand, divide, and simplify. So p to the third power equals p times p times p divided by p to the fifth power, which means p times p times p times p times p. Here, p divided by p equals 1, p divided by p equals 1, p divided by p equals 1, so all we're left with is 1 over p to the second power. And this can also be pronounced as 1 over p squared. Compare that to box E2. Here we have p to the third divided by p to the fifth. And remember, it's the exact same problem as we have here. We're going to keep the base and subtract the exponents. So the base is p. 3 minus 5 gives us negative 2. So our answer is p to the negative second power. Now let's compare the results to make an important connection. Since these two problems were exactly the same as each other, it means these two values here are equal to each other as well. So p to the negative second power can be written as the fraction 1 over p to the second power. Let's try that in part 3. Divide by subtracting the exponents. Take a look at box M. Here we have w to the 7th divided by w to the 6th. And since they have the same base, we can use a shortcut. Keep the base and subtract the exponents. So our answer here will be w to the first power, which equals w. Here's box K. Here we have y divided by y to the fourth. And remember, y can be written as y to the first power. Now let's use a shortcut. Our answer is y to the negative third power. Here's box L. Z to the fifth divided by x to the third. Notice that they don't have the same base, so we can't use the shortcut. It's already in simplest form, so just write it again. Z to the fifth divided by x to the third. Last one, box Q. Here we have e to the third, g to the second, divided by e to the fourth. So let's take care of one base at a time. We'll work on base e first, then we'll work on base g. So e to the third divided by e to the fourth equals e to the negative 1. Now let's take care of base g. Here we have g to the second power, so just write it down. Final answer, e to the negative 1, g to the second, or e to the negative 1, g squared.